Well, I've been raising monarch butterflies in the classroom ever since I started teaching, and it's just such a motivating way to start the year. The kids, they know how to identify milkweed plants, and then they can go out and actually find the caterpillars, and they bring them in, and we watch the whole life cycle of that. It's really neat. We've planted a butterfly garden right outside our classroom. We've got different kinds of milkweed and different plants that attract butterflies, and what I love the most about it probably is that in first grade you become a butterfly expert, but then the big kids always are finding caterpillars, and then they bring them to school, and they still recall the project and teach their brothers and sisters about it, and they're always finding other things too, like different kinds of caterpillars, and they want us to identify them. And this year we did not only raised and released monarchs, but we had some painted lady butterflies, which was different and new for us. When I started doing this, I would be out in the ditches looking under the milkweed leaves for the eggs and the caterpillars, and now I've gotten smart and I plant milkweed right at my house and right here at school. And so as the butterflies lay the eggs, and then I go out and collect those, so when the kids start on the first day of school, we already have caterpillars here, so they're really motivated to see them, to identify which ones are monarchs. All we have to do is feed them milkweed, and otherwise they take care of themselves. There's so many things that you could do with that. We talk about the prairie, so native plants we've talked about. Symmetry in math, the symmetry of the butterfly's wings, and the art teacher even takes off on a project with that. Like you said, a life cycle of a butterfly, and then later in the spring when we hatch chicks, they do a lot of compare and contrast, of the life cycle of a butterfly versus the life cycle of a chicken egg. We talk about living things and non-living things, and how things change, and dependence of plants and animals and their predators, and how humans can help or harm butterflies. And they learn how to tell if they're male or female, and they know what the butterflies need and what they look for. I make sure that I have books of all different levels, so if you're just a beginning reader, it might just have one word on the page, like egg, and then caterpillar, and then chrysalis or whatever. But then other books that I've collected are way more in depth. The kids are even getting so good at knowing the life cycle of a monarch that they'll catch mistakes in a book, like it's supposed to be about a monarch butterfly, but they'll have the wrong caterpillar on the page of the book. So that's really been interesting too, if they point out mistakes like that. But yeah, we incorporate it into everything. Our reading, we try to find time for kids, where we're doing more inquiry, like, oh, I'm not sure, why do you think? What is it doing now in its chrysalis? Or why does it have those gold dots on the chrysalis? So a lot of the inquiry-based approach that we're trying to take this year at Highland Elementary is really supported by a project like this. I've just found it to be such a motivating unit at the beginning of the year. They really want to come back to school each day and see what changes are there. And sometimes for a 6-year-old boy, especially, that's what you need. You need them to, number one, want to come to school, you know what I mean, and give them something to look forward to. So I've really found that it's so motivating that way. And then they do consider themselves monarch experts, and they're educating their own families and talking about the project with their big brothers and sisters. Oh, I remember when we did that in first grade. And I just think, especially as we're trying to restore more prairie around here and having different kinds of milkweed, I just think it's a great thing for kids to be conscious of that, and knowing that we can help the monarchs. Yeah, they're the ones that are finding the caterpillars, and they're out with their families in nature, and they're bringing the stuff in and observing them and measuring them. I had one little boy that would run up every day with a ruler to see if our caterpillars were 2 inches, because he was determined when they were 2 inches long, they were going to make their chrysalis. So each day he was, running up with that and using magnifying glasses and lots of different tools to do the study. We do graphing, we do journaling. We take them out into the butterfly garden where they're finding the caterpillars. They love it.